Fontaine had something to do with it. What are you doing? No, no, don't, please. I loved you, don't, please, no, pregnancy. They just take the egg out once Mr. Ryan and I had... Oh, I needed the money so bad. But I know Mr. Ryan's gonna suss it out. Gonna know I wasn't being careful. Gonna know I sold the... Mr. Ryan's gonna be so mad at me.
How about some service around here? Maybe I'll just, do something! Things... Who does he think he is?
He was a lout, but he was vigorous. Get the photo before it completely dries out. You flutter all around the fort, taking life as you go. You're not a moth. You're an angel. I've never painted an angel. Maybe I should.
Trick the security system. Set security bots and turrets on your enemies.
In the theater, a woman gets used to attention. Those angels singing in a pretty choir. You saved me. In the theater, a woman gets used to attention. Oh, I'm ready for dream time, Mr. Bubbles.
What's with the sourpuss?
Have you heard what's going on?
Food needs to make it on Broadway.
There you go again. Adult council can try them in a proper That doesn't mean you have to and listen as fast as by repeating them. Remember, Mary, Rapture security is our security.
when we do, it's gonna be so nasty.
I smell.
It's coming together. Yes. But there will always be doubters. You go doubter. I could never stomach doubters.
go! Just you
A rapture reminder. We all have to. And the temptation to waste this is to make a little extra atoms. Break the
Dad.
stay on the level, and out of trouble.
Cohen's not a musician. He's Ryan's stable boy. Ryan's corrupt policies crap all over the place, and Cohen flutters around clearing it up. But instead of using a shovel, like you would with a proper mule, Cohen tidies with a catchy melody and a clever turn of phrase. But no matter how nicely it sounds, he can't really do anything about the smell.
You Cohen's messenger boy! I got something for that, bro. Little time with my kitten, sugar. Cohen, Ryan, two old birds pulling on each other's milk sticks.
Nasty one. And my but I think I like it better. Take his damn photo. Chop, chop.
What's with the sound?
Have you heard what...
No! 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 Thank you. Thank you. Time for Betty Bye, Mr. B.
I'm good looking.
Come on. Please. No!
But always sent them back. You call that gratitude? I didn't mean to hurt anyone! Back away! Come on! I just want to talk!
Sweetheart, maybe you should ask somebody else for advice.
You know what? Art, music, poetry. It's all grift. Cohen's got Ryan wrapped around his little pinky. And why? Because he tells him what he wants to hear. Rise, rapture, rise. Nuts. That stuff was still before it came out of Cohen's pen. I'm through the whole pinata. See that old fool try and keep me here.
Let me tell you this. I wouldn't bet on you.
I found her now!
RAPTURE reminder. We all have birthdays today, and the temptation to make a little extra added is forgiven. Great music is not. Stay on the level.
Fontaine knew our blokes were coming. We were done over. Them splicers come screaming out the woodwork. Burping fire, spitting ice. Demons out of the Bible they were. I've never seen nothing like it. It wasn't a business he was building. It was an army.
Dress nice, smile, and be yourself. I can control myself! I can! was just getting warmed up! Want another? Who's there? Hey! Come on! Both the boxes. I'm not afraid to fight! I just want to come back!
purpose.
Have you heard what's going on down at
Leave me alone!
people in cages?
Rapture security is just rounding up the worst of the worst until the council can try them in proper form.
Close the theater? Why? Because there's a war on. Bastard!
Can anyone ever make the sender code? Rapture's most unlikely Solaris returns with live. His greatest album yet.
What's that? Die, you asshole!
Passion. Why
That's 3 of 4. What's that look? You don't like it, do you? I don't need to be judged by you, by anyone. Screw you! Screw all you fucking doubters! Here's what I say to all of you! Fly away, little moth! Fly! Smile! Smile! I'm sorry for that outburst. You'll have to forgive an old fool his artistic temperament. The birth is so close now. The labor pains can blur the judgment and drive the passions of even the finest spirits. Ryan is now clear, telling Sanderson. Oh, yes, you may avail yourself upon one of my lesser works as a token of our time together. If you had become my one and true disciple, you might have been worthy of seeing inside the box of my private news. But who knows if that man is yet even born? Now, go!
What happened to you? I've been trying to raise you for a dog's age. Never mind. Would you kindly leg it over to the sphere and get on down to Hephaestus? It's time to settle up with Ryan.
Go.
It is your duty to report the smuggler.
It won't go well. This won't go well at all.
Ryan's stirring. We'd best keep to our knitting. It's time to either run the table or go home empty. Ryan's got the genetic key to Rapture. We get that from him and we get out of this hellhole. We don't, then you and I are ghosts. Now would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch? It's time to finish this.
I see Cohen's lost his touch, if you knew him when he used to believe in the work, in the struggle. And now, he rots in that Neverland, waiting for someone to come and tell him he's still got it. I suppose that's why he let you live. You can taste it, can't you? Andrew Ryan.
nationalised Fontaine Futuristics. He owns it now, lock, stock and barrel. For the good of the city, he says. He'll break it up in due time, he says. I've resigned from the council and lodged me letter of protest, but that's just pissing in the wind. It'll be war, I say, unless somebody stops Ryan, and right fast. trying to get as close to Ryan's gate as possible without making a spectacle of myself. He's got it shielded 6 ways till Easter. There's no way into that base. All I got for my trouble was the hairy eyeball from Ryan's splicer mates. What's the reward you get for trying to outsmart the best electrical engineer of our generation?
convention of worms in here. They all had mothers, fathers, people who loved them. They got married, got terrorized. What makes you think you're any different? I haven't chosen the spot for you on the wall yet. Let me know if you have a preference.
I never killed a man, let alone a mason. But this is what things come to. I don't know if killing Mr. Ryan will stop the war, but I know it won't stop while that man breathes. I love Mr. Ryan, but I love Rapture. If I have to kill one to save the other, so be it.
Jungle style with that filthy ape for 3 weeks, but he finally spilled the beans on how to get to Andrew Ryan. Generate a sympathetic overload in harmonic core number 3.
that simple. Now all I gotta do is figure out what the hell a sympathetic overload is, and for that matter, a harmonic core number 3. Piece of cake for an electrical engineer. Too bad I designed ladies' shoes. Gonna go see the grease monkeys left alive in heat loss monitoring. See what I can shake out of their trees.
Like all parasites who ever tried to walk in stolen shoes. I'd explain the science that renders what you're trying to do impossible, but that would be like playing Mozart for a tree frog.
Jesus loves where I can.
Rapture is coming back to life. Even now, can't you hear the breath returning to her lungs? The shops reopening, the schools humming with the thoughts of young minds. My city will live. My city will thrive. And when that day comes, we'll use your tombstone for paving tiles.
What is the difference between a man and a parasite? A man builds, a parasite asks, where's my share? A man creates, a parasite says, what will the neighbors think? A man invents, a parasite says, watch out, or you might tread on the toes of God.
Why have you forsaken me? The rest is beginning, I suppose. I'll do what you say. I'll do what you say. Jesus loves me, this I know. For the Bible tells me so. Little ones do belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Mr. Cosby, what
Ignore the lies of Atlas and his parasites. Rapture is on the rise.
Strikes me that Fontaine wasn't overly inconvenienced by his own demise. On New Year's Eve, these wretched splicers come streaming out of the poorhouses and stormed the proverbial barricades. Dead rot in the streets, Johnny and Jamie Citizen are lined up round the block for plasmids. Anything to help fend off the rabble.
I'll do what you say. I've turned away from your life. So I said you would. And what?
Strikes me that Fontaine wasn't overly inconvenienced by his own demise. On New Year's Eve, these wretched splicers come streaming out of the poorhouses and stormed the proverbial barricades. Dead rot in the streets, Johnny and Jamie Citizen are lined up round the block for plasmids. Anything to help fend off the rabble.
Even miles underwater, this is everything. Hold it! Cursed shall be the fruit of thy...
An assassin. That's rich. I could have gone along, I suppose. Spliced up. Forgot. I believed in this place. I believed in Ryan. But when it got hard, Ryan didn't believe in rapture. Didn't believe in the great Jane. He believed in power. And now this place is busto. And my girl is... gone. Worse than gone. One of those... things. So am I an assassin? Well, only one way to find out.
I've seen such terrible things and done worse myself. Thank you for reminding me that the light of the world has not yet been snuffed out. I am sending a little one to help you on your way.
We have turned away from your light.
Oh, I'm ready for dream time, Mr. Bubbles.
Even miles in the water, is everything. Father, why have you forsaken me? Turned away from your light.
Time for Betty Bye, Mr. B.
Hurry, Mr. B. Thank you. Thank you. Time for a nap, sweet angel.
Jesus loves me, this I know. The Bible gives me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Cursed be you in the city!
To build a city at the bottom of the sea, insanity. But where else could we be free from the clutching hand of the parasites? Where else could we build an economy that they would not try to control, a society that they would not try to destroy? It was not impossible to build Rapture at the bottom of the sea. It was impossible to build it anywhere else.
Jesus loves me, this I know. taken me.
Welcome to the circus of value!
This loves me, this I know. For the
Feel your cravings in the circus of value!
Bible. I can't see, but he does.
Ryan's spies are dragging the young woman off right now. I'm certain she's one of Ryan's spies sent to fill me out. I think she is. If I'm wrong, an innocent girl lined up on Ryan's bloody trophy wall. If I'm right, Mel, I best be right. The device is almost finished. I can't get soft now, I can't.
To build a city at the bottom of the sea in Santa. But where else could we be free from the clutching hand of the parasites? Where else could we build an economy that they would not try to control, a society that they would not try to destroy? It was not impossible to build Rapture at the bottom of the sea. It was impossible to build it anywhere else.
Imagine the will it took to create a place like this. And what have you built? Nothing. You can break. You're not a man. You're just a termite adversary.
I'll do what you say. I traded you, oh Lord, for my... And what did it get me, huh?
What a balmy dream. Some kind of fruit tree spinning like a top. And it was pouring juice down Ryan's throat, choking the bastard. But it wasn't a tree, really. When I looked closer, it was the core control. The gizmo that feeds the mag locks on Ryan's gate. You can't cut off the power. It comes right from the volcanic vents. Ryan always gets his juice. But I suppose you could drown the son of a bitch in it. Of nitroglycerin in my office, that will serve as the catalyst. Now I need 4 R34 lead shield wire stubs to pass the circuit. Then a half can of ionic gel, that's the pretty Betty of the mix. Should send the core into compensation mode, push power down the line and trigger the circuit breaker on Ryan's gate. Well, that's the theory. It'll either work like a charm, or blow up half of Rapture. Nothing ventured.
From the moment you boot up BioShock, you can feel the story grab hold of you. A plane crashes at sea, a mysterious lighthouse, a sprawling city beneath the ocean, hooking the player from the first touch without overwhelming him with convoluted RPG mechanics was key to the success of the game and the skillful ramping up of BioShock's legendary gameplay. BioShock has an amazing opening sequence that I can't imagine the game without it, with the plane and sort of the crash. But I understand that didn't come online until like the very end of development. Sean, is that true?
We had a couple of really depressing playtests. We had built all these systems. We thought we were doing a good job of like giving basically people a playground to play with and things to do. And when we had a playtest, we didn't realize how bad of a job we were doing in exposing those systems to the player, because we were so in these systems and in our own heads, we had no idea that we just weren't facing them towards the player at all. So after that playtest, we took a long, cold look at what we were doing and realized that we had to we were confident enough in the systems that they were going to be fun and meaningful to the player, but we really had to think about how we were going to introduce these systems to the player, and in such a way that they understand why the systems were there. Like, you can't ship a README file with the game and expect people to read it. Like, it has to be part of the experience. So the challenge is, how do you introduce people to these systems, but do it in such a way that it fits within the narrative? So we had to integrate all of these things into the story cleanly so that the player felt like it was one smooth experience. And I think the zap 'em and whack 'em thing was one of those.
And the 1-2 punch.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch that came out of that.
The plane sequence at the beginning, I heard a story that like a programmer put that together in like a day or two, and it was a very last minute thing, right?
So we had done a focus test, and we had it was one of the most depressing experiences of my life, because we were very close to being finished, and it was basically giving people what essentially became the demo, and people played it, and it was in Boston, and we were sort of behind these glass windows, all these sort of Boston guys are like, this is a wicked piece of shit. They hated it, and they were making fun of it, and they were saying, it's like watching some guys and dolls beating each other up, and it's the stupidest thing they've ever seen. And we thought we were in pretty good shape at that point. And I remember the focus test guy was like sort of like a doctor giving me the bad news. Sorry, Ken, you better get your affairs in order. Right. And we all came into work the next day, and we were like, what are we going to do? And we're all pretty depressed. But I think we started talking. And as we talked, we started thinking about, what are they saying to us? What are these people saying to us? We think there's something there. How are they missing it? And we decided that maybe they didn't understand who they were and who their role as a character, who their role in the world was. Because the game at that point started with you in the ocean, floating in the ocean after the plane crash.
And
the crash still was in the fiction, it just wouldn't show
you
it.
just didn't see it. So you didn't have the voiceover saying, my parents always said I was going to do great things or whatever that. They didn't show the plane crash. We didn't establish a time period. Because, the plane is critical to establishing. You're smoking a cigarette. It's very 1960s looking. All that stuff was established. It wasn't established. So we decided we had no time and no money so we sort of came up with a script. I wrote some line, I think. Nate, one of our artists, recorded the line. Steven and Sean and those guys got to work on building this very simple sequence, which was relatively simple sequence. And then the plane crash actually happens over the BioShock logo we already had. But we wrote a radio play behind that with, altitude of the crash. And that, I think, set the emotional, and the people screaming in terror on the plane crash, that set the emotional tenor much better and explained who the player was. And all of a sudden, we released, then I think the next real encounter we had was people playing the demo, public encounter, and all of a sudden it was a very different experience.
I remember even back in the day, I think we did a thing on TV where we kind of talked about it, and it was like that night, and I remember that night, like people on the forums were just like going nuts. And even though the game had a lot of press attention, when people finally got to play it and go through that sequence, I just remember there was this mass sort of excitement around it, and then the game shipped only a few weeks after that, right? Or a month after that?
A week later, a few days later.
It's amazing, now to hear that, literally a month before the game came out, the playing sequence came online or something. I mean, it was that late. Right?
We still had to go through certification and all that.
But it's within,
It wasn't far. It wasn't far. It was really last minute. And it was one of those things where, you really shouldn't be putting in content that late. Yeah. But we felt it. We were so close to having something good that we just rolled the dice on it, and we worked really hard on it. We worked really hard. I remember how much time I spent on just that recorded of altitude. I can still hear the different version of that in my head. There's been so much time on that stuff, and these guys were working on getting the animations right. And the
scene was shot in engine, but we decided to pre-render it so that we had to do less QA on it.
Right.
It wasn't going to be some weird streaming error or crash error.
Wow.
It was just we're just going to show the video. Yeah.
And it's interesting because once you start in the ocean, we had this experience of testing a lot with the water effects and how beautiful Steven's water effects were. People didn't realize they were out of a cutscene at that point. And so they would just sit there and stare. And then they pick up the controller. And they pick up a controller, and all of a sudden they realize they were controlling it. But that, as Sean said, that part of the plane is not actually interactive. It was done in the engine, but we just filmed it.
Now, as people were playing through the game and you were testing it, I'm sure there was debate about, when would you introduce these plasmids, what would the ramp be? Did that change at all, sort of as you got towards the end of development, about we're going to give people the gun at this point, or it's we're going to trigger these plasmids at this point? How did that work?
So, we moved guns around. For instance, there was a big debate about, originally you found a gun in the lighthouse, a pistol in the lighthouse.
Oh,
at the very
right
beginning.
there, yeah.
And because it's a shooter, right? What the hell? And we had a lot of debates about it, and I feel that it was important that we didn't do that, because the fact that you sort of go through a lot of the experience without having the distraction of a gun is important to getting you immersed in the world. Because when you have all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? But you don't have the hammer, so you just sort of had to take in the world and have that feeling of fear. And I know when you saw that splicer bounding around on the ceiling, that you couldn't do anything about it, and that had even though that's
those are those moments, right? I remember when I played Unreal for the first time, where it's you're trapped and there's a monster and you can't do it, and the lights go out. It's that's the moment with the splicer where you're I want to do something but I can't, and that evokes an emotion.
I remember we kept, moving where the machine gun appeared around and where various plasmids appeared around. It was a real, it's a real fine-tuning process.
Yeah, and it gave us an opportunity, especially with the shotgun, to really present the weapons, put some space between them.
It's a moment when you finally...
Yeah, I think
we get the shotgun Paul sequence.
Paul Hellquist was, he put the sequence together for the, when you see the shotgun laying in the pool of light, every game developer knows what that means, the minute you pick that thing up, something's going to happen. But it was still a very effective way, as I'm remembering it, to, look, I've been waiting for this thing, I'm going to pick it up, and now you have an immediate opportunity to use it. But, at the same time, we're trying to ramp up the tension level by having the splicers kind of on the outside of the light, so you can't really see them, and then coming in one at a time and attacking you.
And we had very few tools to really control how those splicers acted. So how they were set up and how the environment was lit was really important.
There's even other things like when you get the TK plasmid, I don't think we had a lot of physical space and opportunity and time to really present that. So we came up with the narrative that, it was the doctor's office and he used TK to practice tennis. And we had the turret in there that threw tennis balls at you. So if you wanted to, you could catch the tennis balls and throw them, and you could knock things down. I think it revealed pickups that you could then, pull to yourself with TK. But we're always trying to think of like little backstories that we could do. It doesn't have to be as involved as the shotgun ambush. Sometimes it's just, let's take a grenade turret and turn it into a tennis ball turret.
Because we want to, because I remember like the impulse was, I've been to dentist office, and there's always some like weird aspect of the dentist personality they always want to get through their office. They always have to have their hobby featured in some way, and so we saw an opportunity there to both feature this, he's a tennis nut, and teach TK at the same time.
And the